Okay, Okay, so let's take a look at this problem. On this problem, I'm suggesting that their hint probably wasn't the most helpful hint in the world. Okay, so let's take a look at what information we have. Suppose the overhead is 35% of the selling price of an item. The markup is $20 and the cost is $28. Okay, so what do we know? How are things related? How is the overhead, the cost, the selling price, how are those all related? Well, if we look back, what did we know? We knew that to find the selling price of an item, how did we do that? Okay, well, let's look at some of these formulas. We have a 0.35 times the sell price, 0.35 times the sell price, 0.35 times the sell price, 0.35 times the sell price. We have to decide which of these is most appropriate. Okay, which of these four options is true? All right, so let's take a look. What would 0.35 times the sell price give us? Notice our overhead is 35%. So 35% of the selling price, that's our overhead. So this part of each of these equations is the overhead. Okay. So let's take a look at these. Which of these would be true then? Okay. Is it true that overhead minus overhead equals cost? Absolutely not. That is not the case. If you take overhead minus overhead, you're going to get 0. So this one is not going to work. Let's take a look at the top one. It says that $20 is the overhead plus the markup. I guess that's a possibility, except if we look back up at our information, the markup is $20. Okay, so the overhead has to be something. If we put in the markup here of $20, notice that's not going to work out because we would have to add something here. So that one can't work either. Let's take a look at these two. So this one says $48 plus overhead equals our selling price. And this one says $20 is 0.35 times the selling price. Now remember, what was our $20? That was our markup. Okay, the markup has to be more than just your overhead because you have to make some money also. So I'm going to cross that one off also. And let's take a look at this one that's left. It says $48. Where would $48 come from? Well, notice we had a markup of 20 and a cost of 28. So this one really makes the most sense. Okay, because it really, what is it saying? It's saying the selling price is our overhead plus our cost plus our markup. Okay, which makes sense. That would be a good selling price to set so that you cover your overhead, you cover your cost, and then you have a little bit of a markup so that you make some money. Okay, and again, where does the 48 come from? Well, notice we had a markup of $20 and a cost of 28. So that gave us our $48. And then our overhead would be 0.35 times the selling price. Okay, so this one is the one that would be true.